Yeah,
thing.
I actually have it all uploaded onto the file, but I just haven't changed the website format
Mhm.
yet because it's a lot of work and
You're
I'm
gonna,
lazy.
yeah, you can do it before you leave or not at all.
I'm gonna do it before I leave, but I have like all the files on the database, so literally all I have to do is drag and drop each of them
No,
and add the links. But
just
it
a lot
like
of
you
manual
can't
work.
do that without it like manually like highlighting each sentence,
Yeah.
copying and pasting it.
Oh,
Such a waste.
everyone's from here.
Present.
Senator Melchior,
Present.
Senator Schumer,
Present. Sorry, the
Senator
Zoom just turned
Chacon.
on.
Senator Snyder,
Present.
Chair Taylor,
Here.
Senator McAllister Johnson. Here. Chair Trout,
Present.
Senator Davis. Here. Chair Frisky. Present. Senator Reese. Present. Associate Senator Rivera. Present. Senator Barron. Associate Senator Camber. Senator Lesser.
Present.
Associate Senator Alvarez. Here. Senator Pickerel.
Here.
Senator Yankowski. Senator Buckner. Associate Senator Ozor. Associate Senator Leggett. Associate Senator Miller. Present. Associate Senator Myers.
Here.
Associate Senator Byrd. Senator Vaughn. Associate Senator Turner. Associate Senator Morgan. Senator Salazar. Senator Milka.
Present.
Senator Chansey. Senator Rivera. Present. Associate Senator Bashara. Senator Romkey. And Senator Zayal Amabi.
Present.
And if I didn't call anybody, please see me after the session.
Thank you. And with that, we move into the consent agenda. Chair Trout.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to table Bill 5319, the Humanity Community Act, until April 10th, 2024.
I second that.
As the bill author, I don't need a second.
That is in 2 weeks, correct? Great. That tabled. Is there any other changes to the agenda at this time? Seeing none, we're going to move on to gallery input. So anyone from the gallery who wishes to speak at this time.
Hi everyone. For everyone who doesn't know me, my name is Ben Forstoxy. I was involved in ASCSU for just about 2 years as a senator representing the Asian Pacific American Cultural Center, as well as the recruitment and retention officer in ASCSU. I just had a few things to come say today. Maybe pass on some advice, some reflections that I've had just like off of last night and previous experiences within ASCSU. So I attended the debates last night. I even asked a question during the speaker debate, and that question was not verbatim, but I asked how candidates like expect to make ASCSU a more not welcoming place, but like ASCSU can be quite intimidating. I'm sure everyone in this room knows that. I know that, and certain transgressions that occurred last night certainly didn't help. I just think like as a student, there are of course students watching. Some folks might be first years, some folks might be second years, and ultimately like they have no idea what the space is like, how intimidating it can be, and it's really on everyone in this room's responsibility to make sure that whether they be an exec, judicial, senate, just to make this a less intimidating space than it can be, at least try y'all's best to do so. So I just think like your actions and words do matter. As student leaders, y'all have responsible for promoting a space that's not only productive for students, but doesn't like ostracize them. I'd seriously like consider taking a long time to reflect on that. Attack ideas, not people. Especially as this like is the year of democracy and stuff. We really need like folks on not criticizing the person, but attack ideas. I've seen like that this organization is like capable of like immense good. But that wasn't like, last night did not reflect that at times. So I just kind of implore you all to kind of like consider the impact and actions that can occur from appointed leaders or elected leaders and anyone from any branch. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ben Torres-Doxy's apprentice, the next recruitment retention officer from last year. Also, you may know I'm the chair of the Housing Caucus. And unfortunately, we ended our streak of attendance growth, which is very sad. But you can attend this week's session on Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. I'm making this announcement now because I do have to head out. But I do echo what Ben said. But if you'd also like to make a change from the Housing Caucus, we'll be working on a there'll be. It will be virtual this week, so there's no excuse not to come, even if you're just there, just listen in. I have a pretty beautiful voice in front of 3 people. So please come, please have a good time, and good luck with the session.
Hey y'all, I also watched, wasn't there because I got tired after work, so I didn't show up. But I watched the debates, at least the presidential ones, because respectfully, the Senate ones happened during when I was eating dinner and I was hungry. But because there was a question posed from an audience member, and while I'm very happy that all 3 of the running tickets answered this question as best they could, because of the nature of the question relating directly to one of my personal identities, and also relating directly to an ongoing genocide of my people, I'm going to ask to all of the presidential candidates and vice presidential candidates who are in this room, and if you aren't in this room, I think I already told you about it. Please, please, please do not make a stance on what is happening to my people a running point, especially when you have not been tangible in action for people. I do not want to see what is happening become something that people perform activism for, because that's what I've seen my entire life. And what is happening right now is something that we aren't good at comprehending, but it's over 32,000 people, and I'm related to some of them. To hear people make it a stance is already hard enough when I'm watching it happen in my federal government, but to hear it come from a stance from people I know personally, who I know their actions and their inactions, is something I don't want to see. You represent your student body. This is me as a student telling you, do not make the genocide of my people a point of your running campaign. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the gallery who wishes to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to executive reports. Is there anyone from the executive cabinet who wishes to speak at this time?
Hello, everyone. Nick DeSalvo, student body president. If you didn't happen to look at the ASCSU Instagram or read some of the news today, there was a really good article that came out this morning about Governor Polis and the occupancy bill and how he's ecstatic to sign that bill into law. What's happening now with the long bill that's come out and some of the appropriations processes, that's kind of taken a back burner because the House has to reconcile some of the amendments that the Senate made, but it will pass. And so it's very exciting that the governor supports it. I doubt he'll sign it here on campus, but the fact that he signs it, period, is so vital to the work that we've been doing. Additionally, we had Representative Hernandez on campus today with an event that El Centro hosted, and it's great to be able to welcome candidates, elected officials of all ideologies to campus, because it's important that that representation is there for students Representative Hernandez was actually student body president at UNC. And so I was proud to tell him that ASCSU through LSAB has endorsed one of his pieces of legislation that that forces school districts to allow students of cultural backgrounds to wear cultural attire when they graduate. I think it's a no-brainer. And so he was pretty ecstatic to hear that we as a student body are supporting that. Additionally, there is some news that came out from the Joint Budget Committee. A few months ago, all of the institutions of higher ed had sent a joint letter to the Joint Budget Committee saying that, look, if the governor wants to prioritize capping tuition at 2%, 3%, then this is the amount of state investment we need in order to stay afloat. And that number was 11%. The Joint Budget Committee, through some of the work we've been doing in advocacy, they've followed through on their promise. They made additionally another historic investment in higher ed, and they plan to cap tuition at, I think, 3%. Unfortunately, there's some murmurings among House Democrats that they want to take over $100 million that was allocated to the higher ed institutions to kind of alleviate that tuition burden, and they want to use it for housing initiatives. This isn't what the Joint Budget Committee kind of outlined, and they know these discussions intimately because they've been having them for months and months. So what we can do in our role is contact as many elected officials as you possibly can to let them know that these numbers have to stay the same as the Joint Budget Committee prescribed, because otherwise our tuition will balloon to an amount that is unsustainable, and we just simply can't allow that. So I'm continuing to put pressure. I'm working with my colleagues, Chase Cromwell at CU Boulder, and kind of leading into my position as chairman of the Colorado Student Government Coalition to get the other institutions on board so that we could really present a united front on this issue. I won't interrupt any more of your time, so thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful night. My name is Alex Silverheart. I use the he series of pronouns, and I am the vice president of ASCSU for, I lost my day counter, but it's like 2 months. I wanted to provide a few quick updates in terms of the emergency contraceptive project that I've been working on. We just got the order in today. The contract has been signed. We're receiving 800 free emergency contraceptives in about 2 weeks. And so I'll be meeting with the WGAC tomorrow to talk about potential peer-to-peer distribution models. If you have interest in helping with this endeavor, or if you would like to be part of that peer-to-peer distribution model, please let me know. We're also receiving 1,000 more free pregnancy tests through the health network. So if you are an individual that would like to have this in a space on campus, or if you just want to have some on you so you can give them out to friends, we've distributed, I think, over 3,500 since last February, which is crazy. So I think partnering that with the Emergency Contraceptive Initiative is going to be a fantastic addition to that project. In terms of other events, this was a very last minute event, but students seem to really enjoy vintage markets on campus. So these are opportunities where vendors come in to the LSE ballroom, specifically ballroom D, and they bring vintage clothes that they're able to sell to students. So they were here this previous Tuesday. They will be here next Tuesday as well, in addition to, I think, the last Tuesday of April. And so it kind of also partners up with Earth Month because it provides people an opportunity to buy thrifted clothes rather than new clothes. We are not big fans of Shein. In terms of SFRB updates, the biggest thing is the sport clubs through the Campus Recreation Center have requested a 75-cent increase to help increase equity of access to sport clubs. They currently have $110,000 available to 30 different sport clubs in terms of helping with transportation to different sporting activities, in addition to the equipment that's required to play these sports. And so they're requesting a 75-cent increase. If you have opinions, concerns, whatever that may be, please come to me and I'd be happy to talk to you more about this. We had a group fitness event on Tuesday that was led by my intern, Lauren Johnson. It was fantastic. There were 2 front desk people and 2 SFRB people, but we had such a fun time. And so I'm hoping we can do one more this semester, and I'd love to see a few more people there as well. And then lastly, we have our last blood drive on the 1st. So if you're interested in donating or signing up to volunteer, please reach out. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your night.
One more thing, everyone, I have here with me Tyler Schrenka. He is an intern for the Department of Environmental Affairs, and he has an opportunity he wants to present to you folks that will probably be interested in it.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I missed the gallery, what's it called? Gallery input, but I'm here just to talk about the Poli-Sci Fun Club, which is starting on April 1st in the LSC rooms 372, 374 at 4 p.m. on Monday, this upcoming Monday. When I came to CSU, I really was eager to find myself a part of an activist in political community, but I was kind of having trouble finding a place where we could have those conversations. So I'm really hoping that Poli-Sci Fun Club could consolidate those interests and really help organize those interests, and we could do something with that and find some passion and find some difference making that we could do. But I'm gonna pass out a QR code if that's okay, after I'm done speaking. But I'm really hoping that we could get as many people interested to attend as possible, because it's the success of the club and the continuation of the club is contingent on members showing up. And if we get enough people, there could hypothetically be like a publication section and a social section and a deliberation section and a volunteer section, and where that could have like leadership opportunities and a bunch of stuff like that. So if you're interested, please scan a QR code that I'll be passing around. I would really appreciate it if you guys came out and showed out. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to judicial reports. So the judicial branch report at this time.
The second time on my phone shocked me today. Okay, so not much to report. We do have an opinion request coming from our wonderful elections manager. And the question was, can an ASCSU caucus endorse candidates in the general election? So obviously, since I'm reporting it to you now, we're not going to have that opinion out until next week, which is after the campaigns. So this opinion will apply to next year. But please, please, please send us your briefs. Because this one is also a doozy, just like the rest all year, because there's literally not a single thing about it in any documents, which is pretty wild.
So just a quick, I guess, clarifying question. This is specifically for caucuses. Would it be allowed to also ask if special committees, since caucuses count as special committees, would that be allowed within a brief towards the court, or is it specifically caucuses?
The opinion is specifically caucuses. Do you have like an example of a special committee that you're thinking
I would if I had the Constitution pulled up right in front of me. But like LSAB, to my understanding, is a special committee. Would else like kind of, since if caucuses cannot allow, but then other special committees, so like would LSAB be able to endorse folks or whatever other special? I know we have a lot of other special committees within ASCSU, but just kind of seeing if it's just specifically caucuses, or would that count as well?
I feel like if you want to add that information in, you definitely should, because maybe we can talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Hi, everybody. Caitlin Spencer, elections manager, pronouns she, they. Thank you all so much for coming out to the debates last night. It really means a lot to me. I was watching throughout, and I think the highest that we had on YouTube was like 40 at some point, I want to say, that at least I saw, so that was really cool. And the room was full. There were people that were standing in the back because all the seats were taken, so that was really cool as well. Thank you all just so much for coming out and showing your support for, honestly, Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation and me, thank you. But in addition to that, thanks for always being a part of and active members in your general elections. We really appreciate it and all that you do for the university. All right, that's all I have. We're still in full swing election mode, so if I have any other interesting updates coming up, I'll let you know.
Thank you. And now we move into legislative reports. Officers, nothing to report.
So as we wind down closer to the end of this session, there is a need for a new parliamentarian. So if you are interested in this position, please come down after the session and I will let you know a bit about what the role of parliamentarian encompasses. Thank you. I yield.
Perfect. Few things on my behalf. I have a test next week, so I'll be rushing over to hopefully make the start of the session. If not, I will definitely be here. April 24th is, as of right now, our last session. And this is because Medellin asked me, our director of traditions, that I do not have Senate May 1st because of the eyeball. If there is a need for an emergency session, that is what we will do. But tentatively, as of right now, I have the last Wednesday in April as our last session. Next week, we have a lot on our agenda, y'all. We just did it. We have a lot. It's going to be a long session next week. So please get food, get water, eat, drink, please, before next session. Which at the end, once we wrap up here, we will get to the election results. That'll happen right after. We won't stop any recordings. It'll just continue to keep going straight through. And I think that's it on my behalf. But once we know all that stuff for elections, I will give more information about running for a legislative cabinet position and setting up all the times that we will be doing like stoles and graduation stuff for our parties and theirs. You see some people dying. Committee abstracts. Chair Trapp.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This week we hosted our Meet the Candidates event. While not as many folks as I would have liked to show up, we did have representatives from all the campaigns show up, so all folks from the presidential, vice presidential, and speaker candidates show up. So I want to give a huge shout out to those folks who were to show up and answer some questions from our constituents. I think it was a nice team bonding experience, and I think it was a nice way to prep folks for debate. So hopefully future caucuses can do it, and that becomes kind of a fun little tradition. Next week will be more, next week will be more back to our really scheduled program. We do have one bill from a senator who would like us to look at a resolution as a caucus. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to attend next Monday from 4 to 5. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Chairperson.
All right, hi. We had, oh my God, sorry. We had a meeting yesterday. So far we've gotten a solid amount of books, so keep them coming if you have any social justice books or banned books. We have a box to drop them off in ASCSU, the WGAC and APAC. If you want if you are representing somewhere that would like a box, let me know. Also, we just got, okay, this has been here for a little while, but I'm going to promote it now because I haven't posted anything on it yet. So, I just started the Women's Caucus Instagram. So please go follow CSU_Women's Caucus. That would be great. Thank you. I'll be posting on there more stuff. And probably either next meeting or the meeting after, we will be looking over the bill that was tabled today. So please show up. I love my two other people that come, but would appreciate if more people would show up. And that's all. I yield my time.
Thank you, Joe Taylor.
This week we saw the Students of the Oval Caucus bill, which we discharged with no edits. I would just like to say, also, please come to committee. We only had one person attend that committee, so thank you, Gavin. But no, please come to committee because that's how we make changes to bills, and that's how we get those to places that we want to see them. And ultimately, the best bills come with edits in committees, and so please come and make some edits if you want to do that, and at least show up to committee. But besides that, I yield.
Thank you. Senator and Associate Senator reports. Chair Jarrett.
Okay. Hey folks, I forgot to mention this last week, but the Student Disability Center's deadline for accommodation requests for finals week is April 8th at 4:45 p.m. So that is not next Monday, but the Monday afterwards. This is a mandatory deadline and there will be no extensions of this deadline. If you're curious on how to set up an accommodation or you don't know what that process looks like, please reach out to Ariadne or I and we can show you how to do that. Or go to the SDC. They are more than welcome to help you out with that. Please note that you'll need to either do it on a CSU computer set at the library or anywhere else physical on campus, or if you do it at home, you have to log into the Global Protect VPN, which is pretty easy to do, but you need to do it in order to access that. Pretty simple in terms of making those requests. But yeah, that's all I have for y'all.
Thank you. Associate Maloney.
Hi, so on Friday, mural is happening. That is the Multicultural Undergraduate Research, Art and Leadership Symposium. The event is happening from, I believe, 9:15 to 4:30. Yeah. The poster presentation is happening. That's like largely the event open to the public is from 1:30 to 2:45. I'm presenting about kinetical proteins, which I know is like not something that people are just casually into, but it'd be super cool to see some nice like familiar faces. So I strongly suggest you come to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Patel.
Hi all. During last night's ASCSU presidential debate, the persistent public relations challenge within the organization was brought up. Candidates presented some thoughtful solutions, yet the event was overshadowed by acts of hostility. A particularly egregious incident involved an associate senator publicly revealing the private addresses associated with Nick DeSalvo's upbringing. This action presumably to question the authenticity of his statements regarding his impoverished upbringing. That was not just inconsiderate and irresponsible, it verged on harassment and starkly contradicted the values of inclusivity and respect that we so preach in this body. In addition, the assumption and public questioning of someone's socioeconomic history without the involvement and story is profound and unjust and disrespectful. It dismisses the complexity and the personal nature of an individual's background and experience. Regardless of why these allegations were made, the associate senator's conduct may be considered doxing. Publicly sharing the private information of a student and their family without consent is reprehensible. The behavior witnessed during the debate falls significantly below what is expected of the ASCSU members. It is deeply disappointing and highlights the very PR issues that plague this organization. As a community, we need to aim higher and adhere to values of integrity, respect, and inclusivity. This includes addressing and rectifying harmful impacts of this event and ensuring such breaches of decorum and privacy never happen again. Thank you.
Chair Christie. Okay. So we did have the Feminist Queer Conference this Saturday, or last Saturday. It went really well. And give me 1 second. Okay. So we have coming up a fireside chat with Associate Professor of Ethnic Studies Ray Black, and then Associate Professor of Ethnic Studies Caridad Souza. They are going to be giving a chat about gender, race, and the transatlantic slave trade, April 1st from 5 to 7:30 p.m. in the University Ballroom. We also have now published our Sexual Assault Awareness Month events calendar that starts April 1st with that fireside chat, and we'll end with Take Back the Night, which is an incredible program. I will tell you more about it at a later date because I feel like if I just tell you now, it's not gonna, there's a lot of information. So make sure to go look at that. And then we have two more things. The Victims Assistant Team training. So if you want to help with the Victim Assistance Team hotline, which is a 24/7 hotline that you can report to, it's super important work. And they have some dates out there that you can sign up for, including a class you can take. And then also we do have that Linda Sarsour event coming up next Wednesday. I do realize that it starts at 6 and it will probably go into the beginning of Senate. So, you know, I'm not going to, you pick and choose, you know? I'm not gonna encourage skipping Senate, but I also want to reiterate that this is a very important event. So, yeah, that's it, I think. There's a lot going on, so check our Instagram. I yield my time.
Thank you. Associate Rivera.
Hello, good afternoon. So for the 2024 Antipolis reservations, that the form is open for all students who are graduating in May 2024, summer of 2024, or winter of 2024. The priority deadline to complete this reservation form is Monday, April 8th, or until we run out. Thank you. And then I know this is a little bit last minute, but tomorrow from 3:15 to 5:15 is going to be live music at the Sullivan Garden, and it's going to be featuring 2MX2. And so the event is experiencing the power of music as a catalyst for social justice with 2MX2, which is a revolutionary bilingual band whose music combines traditional Latin, alternative pop, and urban rhythms, blending English and Spanish. So I think that would be a great event for all of you guys to join. And that is all. I give my time.
Thank you. With that, we move into conference business. The parliamentarian, please put 2 hours on the conference clock, and we'll start with Bill 5317, amending Bill 5220. Was there any committee edits to this bill? Chair Kelly.
Yeah, I made a very minor one. We sponsored it, University Affairs Committee sponsored it, and then on the table, if you scroll down. And this is actually a request from the author, the dedicated student fee, that cross-out section was Braxton's edit, and I believe that is it.
Okay. Any other committees making edits? Terminology.
I believe one of the edits we made, well, first was a whole list of adding endorsements to it, and then secondly, I believe one of the other edits we made was we edited that whereas clause to remove the physically and instead changed it with mobility related access needs. And then I believe further down, we also changed the part where it said email to Braxton Dietz to the ASCSU Chief of Staff to make that more consistent, because I'm pretty sure Braxton isn't going to be here for 4 years.
Any other edits? Does the author accept these edits?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's just discussion debate.
Alrighty. We'll start with a period of discussion debate. Chair Trout.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the staff team for working on this project. I know this has been a project that we've worked on extensively over the last, oh my God, year now?
Year and a half.
Oh my God, I feel old. As folks may remember, I had some concerns when we were talking about this bill a couple weeks ago in terms of ensuring that it is prioritizing students with disabilities while also making sure we're catering to that, while also ensuring that we have accessible stuff or making sure that UCA students can utilize this fund. After we had a conversation with the NDI Affairs Committee, I feel very confident in this project's ability to do that. Based on conversations we've had, the algorithm allows the system to prioritize student disabilities to register. So it ensures that they're not being underswept, that they'll be able to get the transportation needs while also not secondary, but as an additional bonus, it would be able to benefit UCA students. Folks remember I used to go to UCA and walk from the UCA to Westfall every other night. And when it is 14 degrees, it sucks. So I really want to thank you for that and ensuring that students with disabilities are prioritized on this function, and also benefiting another population which is needed. I think a lot of stuff from ASCSU, and so I thank you for that. So I encourage folks to vote yes for this bill. And with that, I yield.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to comment? Seeing none, we then move on to a period of voting. We can do this by voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? This bill passes.
I appreciate the Senate's work on this and passing this amendment. Just to give you all a quick update on the progress of this program, it will go through SFRB in the next coming weeks. Once it's approved there, it will be operational the first day of classes fall of 2024. So if you're eligible for the program, you'll be able to, with the click of a button on your phone, be transported from anywhere to anywhere else on campus. So huge moves for this community on campus. So with that, I thank you for your amazing work.
Thank you. And since the only bill we had in new business was tabled, we're actually moving on to ending roll call, y'all.
Woo! Wow.
Chairman Auntie.
I was going to use beginning roll call as ending roll call.
Second.
Yeah.
Is there any dissent? Seeing none, we will use beginning roll call as ending roll call. Committee reports. I asked if there's any dissent, and I was voting. Committee reports, internal affairs.
Well, I don't think that we have anything in committee, so it's going to be a fast session, but please still come to committee. You do need a committee hour, or if you want to be in attendance, so please come to committee. Again.
Budgetary affairs.
We also have nothing on the agenda right now, but we do have 44,500 remaining in Senate discretionary. Thank you, Ray.
University affairs.
Yes.
DEI affairs.
Nothing in my committee for once, so come to my committee and just have a fun little icebreaker and get to know people.
Moving on to caucus reports. Women in Social Justice Caucus.
Please just return a coloring book so I can bring it to next caucus session. That's it.
Accessibility Caucus. Housing Caucus, which actually isn't on here. It's not here. And with that, we adjourn. I'll see y'all next week.